All right. Hello, readers. I am so excited that you are tuning into the She Reads Romance Books podcast for today's episode, where I am going to be talking about one of my favorite things in romance, book boyfriends. And here to help me gush over some of our favorite heroes in romance is another lover of romance books, Francesca from Under the Covers Book Blog. So, welcome, Francesca.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here to talk about book boyfriends.
Oh, I am too. I can't believe it's taken me so long to have you on the show, and I think it's going to be so fun to talk about books and book boyfriends with another reader who loves them, I think, as much as I do, and I know that's you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I never get tired of it.
Yes, but before we jump into some of our favorites, I always love to hear people's stories about how they
Mhm.
come to fall in love with the genre. I mean, for me, it was like literally stealing my mother's copy of Paradise by Judith McNaught off the shelf and completely being consumed by that second chance romance, and then I was hooked. So, what is your story? How did you come to just love romance?
Yeah, it's definitely not my mom because my mom would read more of the nonfiction and things like that, which that's how I got into reading. Both my parents were readers, but reading a little bit more serious stuff than romance. I actually got involved in romance through urban fantasy. So as a teenager, I used to really love Anne Rice and all of the Interview with the Vampire and all those things. So all of the paranormal things is what really got me to romance. I made the switch to paranormal romance, like kicking and screaming a little bit. And then from there, I tried some contemporaries and I was like, well, not really my thing, but I'm going to continue giving it a try. What I was reading at the time when I moved from paranormal romance to contemporary was just the regular old Harlequins, like the subscription boxes and getting like those 5 or 6 books. And I would read them in one night. And I was like, you know what? They're easy to read and easy to like digest, but like I can read a whole thing in one night and like it's entertaining. So I
Yeah.
just kept going.
And then the rest is history.
The rest is, yeah, yeah.
But are you still more apt to like pick a paranormal over anything else or
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
yeah.
I'm actually like anything paranormal, urban fantasy, fantasy romance. I'm
Hmm.
excited that it's popular now.
Hmm.
So I think that that is probably where I am most comfortable. I would say if I have to, I do read a lot of contemporary, but they still are not my favorite. Like
Gotcha.
to me, the contemporaries are a little bit more of like they're okay. There are some standouts for sure, but it's not like if I have to gravitate to one thing, it will always be something supernatural or historical.
That
Like
is
that would
good
be
to
my
know.
second.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So when I'm looking for like a particular, like my next, alien hit or something, I'm going to be
There you
reaching out
go.
to you. Be like, what should I read now? That would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I did bring you some paranormal heroes to talk
Yay. Oh,
about.
good. So we'll kind of balance each other out. That sounds
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, for sure.
Well, and yeah, like you said, there's probably like, I mean, your TBR list in general is probably like so long, but with
It's
the,
ridiculous.
rise in romantasy and all that stuff, you've probably like no shortage of books that
Yeah,
you're getting.
yeah. Which
Yeah.
is exciting because in the 2010s there was a shortage of anything paranormal. There was the big hit in the like beginning of the 2010s, and then towards the end it definitely died out. Publishers were really not buying it, and it took some time before the indie market really went to paranormal. But I'm excited that it's back. So
Yeah. And so what made you kind of want to take your love of romance online? Um,
weirdly enough, so we started out as a group blog and there was 4 of us originally. We had a huge group of friends that we met on Goodreads back, when Goodreads was still like a social site.
mhm.
And a lot of our friends at the time were starting blogs. Now, I didn't want to do it because I know it's a lot of work. So I was like, oh, I got a lot going on in my life. I really can't be doing that. But there was 4 of us and we kind of like pushed each other on to do it. And I mean, also splits the work, which was
Yeah.
very helpful. So yeah, we kind of did it just because we wanted to, we shared a lot of the same things that we liked, but at the same time, when we started, we also read different things. So
Very
there
cool.
was a nice variety of what we were covering. So we kind of thought, this can be fun. And I mean, obviously getting books from the publishers was nice.
Very great perk. Yes.
Very nice perk. So yeah, I mean that's kind of how it started.
And
It is
here you
no
are.
longer that, but that's where we started.
That's incredible. So okay, you have years then of amassing so many fun book boyfriends. And so today I asked you to bring some of your favorites in two different categories,
Yeah.
right? A few that you love so much that you would totally bring home to mom, right? Because you're like, he's gonna like make the best impression on her. But also wanting to talk about a few favorite book boyfriends that you love that you totally would not bring home to mom for various reasons. And I'm probably most excited to hear about those. But in general, like, do you have like a favorite book boyfriend type that just gets you every time?
Always the bad boy. Always the
There
bad
was
boy.
no hesitation
Morally
there.
gray, villain, whatever. Like if they do something wrong, that's probably where I'm gonna be for the most part. I mean, I do like some good guys, but sometimes they're just boring.
Yes, and I mean, I do love a good cinnamon roll here and there,
Yeah.
but yeah, the bad boy, I mean, it's fiction. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they might be bad, but to you, if you were the heroine, they would just like
Hmm.
do anything
A
for
lot
you.
of what I brought you today is that. So
Okay.
even the good ones are that.
It does for me too. It also kind of depends on my mood too. And even like, I guess the storyline does play kind of a role
Yeah.
into it, whether I'm like, oh, this guy's really good, or not. And I think sort of the category maybe is different. Like, I like my favorite book boyfriend, like a fantasy, might be a little
Mhm.
different than in contemporary.
Right, right.
But I don't know. That's kind of me too. So,
Yeah, I think
well,
that's also the same for me. Like for sure, especially like a historical romance, I will gravitate towards like the really good guy with, that's going to be there for the heroine, it's going to support her and it's going to, be like that rock that she needs in a really bad society as opposed to being the bad guy. So definitely I think genre plays a big role.
that's a good point. And I feel like I neglected some of my historical heroes in today's list, but that's okay.
Oh
You
no.
wanted to like bring them all to the show, but
Yes. I know it was difficult. It
I know
was.
I gave you a tough assignment, that's for sure. Yeah. All right, so let's start with book boyfriends that we would totally bring home to mom. Now, are there any overarching characteristics for these book boyfriends that they seem to exhibit for you that you think, or
Mainly, I think it's who can just present as a good, I'm not going to say a good person, but they present well. They
Mhm.
don't necessarily have to be good, but they present well to mom. Like they can just put on a good show. That's
Gotcha.
pretty much it.
I like it. Yes. Mine sort of fit in the like sweet and caring category,
Mhm.
but also like very capable and respectful. They actually clean up after themselves. Maybe they even cook or they have a
Yeah,
job, like
we
some
do.
basics,
We do like that.
or like if they're a single dad, they're a really good parent, or maybe they
Yeah,
take care of a grandparent, stuff like that. So,
yeah, for sure.
but hit us up with your first one who you would totally take home to mom.
Okay, which is none of those things. Because
Love
I'm
it.
actually
Love it.
starting with a dark romance, and it's a new book. So it actually, as of recording, it comes out today. And so the hero in this one is Dominic, and the book is Rage by Nia Mist. So, like I said, this is a dark romance, and the hero is a billionaire. He
Okay.
hires an underground group of female vigilantes because his sister was assaulted, and he pays them basically to figure out who did this. And as the investigation progresses, of course, these are really badass women. And he finds himself incredibly attracted to one of them, like the kind of like the fiercest fighter of them all, of the group. And what I really love about him is the fact that obviously he's very successful, billionaire, business suits, all the things. But the contrast of his very prim and proper life is that he's so attracted to this really rough around the edges, badass warrior woman.
Mhm.
But he is no like pushover. He is
Mhm.
also like the guy that goes toe to toe with her. He is very protective. He's very intense. He matches like her badass, but like in a more like just between them kind of way, but he
Hmm.
also doesn't try to like tame her in any way. He loves her how she is. He
Hmm.
is there to support her, but he's also very possessive, like, don't go jumping in front of a bullet for me kind of thing. Like
Yep.
it was just really, really nice because of how much they really balanced well together. He has the same strength in different ways that she does. So I really
I,
like that one.
yes, and like you, I love heroes who almost bring out even more of the goodness of the heroine and
Hmm.
doesn't want to change her in any way.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like they truly, really love the heroine the way she is, which
I mean, what more
can't
could you
ask
ask
for
for?
anything more.
All right, that's added. That's going on my TBR list out now. Okay, got it. The first guy from my list that kind of came to mind when I was thinking of this topic um, was Drew Runis from Beauty and the Mustache by Penny Reed. It's a
Hmm.
contemporary. So it's the first sort of in her Winston Brothers series and in her Knitting in the City series. And so this is a book where Ashley Winston, she's the only sister in this group of brothers. She returns to her small town of Green Valley, Tennessee, where her mother and six brothers are still living. And she was always desperate to leave the small town, but now she's back because her mother is sick. And so there's a ton of emotions on top of her returning home. And then come to find out that Drew, who's the local game warden, he's sort of announced as he's in charge of her mom's estate, and it sort of infuriates her. But Drew, oh my gosh. So he's one, Ashley's mom already loves the man. Like he has already like got
And yeah.
her hooked. But he reads poetry. He's super calm in the crisis. He's really grounding for Ashley in this really sad, grieving time for her and her family. And props because he's emotionally intelligent. Like I love an emotionally intelligent man, book boyfriend, all of the above. He's super gentle, but yet also like really super sexy and kind and thoughtful and sort of quiet, all while like looking like this big yeti of a man. So he was totally someone that came to mind where I was like, yes, I would bring Drew home to mom.
Yeah. I think for the most part, any Penny Reed hero you can bring home to mom.
That is
They're
true.
so
Yes.
good.
Even Cletus, who's a little unhinged, right?
Yeah, for sure. For
For
sure.
sure. Okay, number two on your list.
Okay. Uh, Now with number two, we're going with my more morally gray of the good guys. And there's a reason for that. I thought hard about this. So the hero is Caleb from the Side Changeling series by Nalini Singh. It is a paranormal romance. I can't tell you too much about the specific book that their romance happens. It is a series where like every book is an HEA, but up to this particular book, there is an overarching plot in the background. So like I can't give up too much. However, in the series, there's shifters and there's Psy, which basically they have psychic powers. And he is the leader, one of the leaders of the council of the Psy. He is very manipulative. He is kind of like the person like pulling all the strings behind the scenes, but at the same time, because of how the series is set up, all the side they have this protocol that's basically called silence. They cannot feel any emotion, so he has had to repress a lot. Like nobody knows that he's bad or that he does any of these things, so he could totally play it off in front of mom and like pretend to be this just very successful, cool, calm, and collected guy. But at the same time, like he has no qualms with like hurting people or like doing anything. However, when it comes to his heroine, which is a second chance romance, it
Okay.
is a woman that he had fallen in love with when they were really young and lost her. And, he spent his whole life looking for her, and it was just and, like nobody knows this about him, so like he's had this love for her, like he will just tear the whole world apart for her, the intensity of him. And I think in a way it's already built in with the world because of how the particular species how they are, but there is so much intensity that he just keeps really locked in tight. But like if you touch her,
Yeah.
all bets are off. So like I mean I do like in books. Um the more manipulative guys. They will never do that to the heroine, but
Right.
they will do anything they need to do to get, like if they need to win in a battle or whatever. So I think that he's a good example of that, but he could play that off in front of mom and not give off that vibe.
And someone who loves like that intensely for such a long period of time, like, yes, I'm
Yes.
with you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I haven't isn't that sad to say I haven't read any in her series. Like I need to get on that. Like
Yes.
ASAP.
Yeah. Her books are really, really good. Like with this series, I know that a lot of people takes them a little bit of time to get used to the world, but I think that like by book 2 or 3, now you understand everything 100% well. Probably one of my favorites is also like book 3. He's also really good. So yeah, there's a lot of
A
good ones in the
plethora.
series. You have to get there.
Yes, I love binge reading series. So fantastic. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, next guy on my list to bring home to mom is Teddy Houseman. He's from The Guy on the Right by Kate Stewart. So if I was still in college many moons ago and going to bring home a guy to meet my parents, then I think Teddy would totally be it. Have you read this book?
No, I have not.
So he's like this typical nice guy, maybe slightly geeky. I mean, he's the self-professed marching band like rock star.
Mhm.
And he in this book refuses to let his very hot football star of a roommate steal Lainey, the woman of his dreams. So he totally steals props as like a great book boyfriend because he fights for his woman. He feels really good in his own skin, and he absolutely knows how to treat a woman because he grew up in a household with sisters and his mom. Um, I mean, he even cooks breakfast for his roommates' one night stands, and he's really good at grand gestures. So Teddy is just this like fun, really great, and really sexy, like good guy from college that I would totally bring home to mom. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. That sounds perfect. I actually prefer the like more geeky side, especially with like college romances. Really
Mhm.
love those.
And sometimes, yeah, it's hard to, I mean, he's probably a few of the college, that age book boyfriend that really stands out to me. I mean,
Hmm.
I tend to like the older, more established type men, but yeah,
Yeah.
if I had to pick one,
Nice.
it would be it. All right, do you have another one for us?
Yes. Okay. So I do have a historical romance for my third good one. And it's Marcus from It Happened One Autumn by Lisa Kleypas. I struggle with which Lisa Kleypas hero to talk about here today because I love all of them,
Yeah.
even her contemporaries. I really wanted to talk about Hardy Cates, but here we are. Marcus is like my favorite of the Wallflowers, and the Wallflowers is technically my favorite of her series. So I
Yes.
just had to talk about him. And I really love this book in particular because it's like a mix of, he's an earl. He's very, the classic stoic British, uptight. And it does have the vibe of like Pride and Prejudice, where the heroine is more of the wild one, but she is an American heiress. So, there's many things about normal British society that she doesn't understand. But she's also very like outspoken and playful. And what I really love is how much she brings out things in him that, he was not raised to be like that. He was raised with all this responsibility and I'm supposed to be this way. And, she opens him up to a completely different side of life. And I love all of the heroes in that series. So, I mean, they're all kind of even here, but definitely he's a standout.
That is a great one to highlight, and as well as that whole series. You're right. Like she really she has not written anything in a while, right?
No, she's been busy going back fixing all her books. The publisher, I think, paid her quite a bit to run
Okay.
through and like, rewrite them basically for the
Got
modern world.
yes, yes.
So, I mean, we want something new though.
I mean, I keep looking every now and then. I'm like, okay, is there an announcement I'm missing? Because
Yeah.
I love her writing,
Yes.
absolutely. And her heroes, like you said, so dashing and just
So
oh,
good.
okay, I love that one. My next one. he was one of my favorites. When did this book come out? A year or two ago. It's one of those books, as soon as you finish it, you just want to like reread it again just to stay in the world with this human
Mhm.
being who is wonderful. And the book is Next to You by Hannah Bonham Young. The hero, Matt, one of my favorite book boyfriends. He is your like quintessential cinnamon roll kind of guy. This book is about him helping Lane, who they're kind of quasi friends because their friends are in a relationship. And Lane sort of has this midlife crisis or a quarter life crisis. She's young. And so she buys a school bus and decides she wants to make convert it into a home. And so Matt is a mechanic and he volunteers to help her. Um, so he's like the silent but steady type. He's
Mhm.
again too emotionally intelligent, which stands out. He really helps her with her anxiety. He's great with his family, like a man who is just like great with his parents and his siblings, always stands out to me. So yeah, Matt was a favorite of mine.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice. Actually, let me look up another one because I planned for 3, but I have a contemporary to give you. So I wanted
okay.
to stick that one in, and I forgot what it's called.
Well, I love all the paranormal and historical. That's fantastic. And of course, my neighbor is now doing all their yard work. I'm sorry if you can hear that.
No, I don't hear anything. Okay, let's get here. Okay. Okay. All right, so my last one for the good ones is Coming Undone by Lauren Dane. This is the second in the Brown family. And what I love about this series, it is a series about siblings. And this particular hero is the one that raised his siblings. So he is a tattoo artist. And the heroine in this one is his neighbor and is a ballerina single mother. And he already kind of has like that vibe of he's the protector. He's, because he raised his siblings. So in a way, he was a single father, even though he wasn't, and his siblings see him this same way. And I absolutely love him. Like he's so good with the little girl. And the comparison between seeing like this big tattoo artist and then the soft ballerina Herod, it was just so good. Like if you haven't read that series, it's delicious.
Sounds so swoon worthy, especially when you see that, yeah, the big guy and the little girl.
Mhm.
Like, oh my gosh,
So adorable.
make my heart melts.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'll give one more too of who I would totally bring home to mom. I think I wrote in my review of this book, he's like the unicorn of all men because I'm like, there's no one who exists like this in real life. He's just too like perfect in all ways. And that is Jason Orson from The Lineup by Megan Quinn. So this is one of her Brentwood boys baseball series.
Mhm.
And I just think he presents like the full package that my mom would just be like, oh my gosh, I love you. So this book is about him and Dottie. They actually went to the same college, but this takes place where he's now in playing national baseball or in the MLB. She's always had a secret crush on him, but he didn't really know her until recently when she bids this like huge amount of money for a date for him for at his foundation.
Mhm.
That's what sort of gets her on his radar. But this guy, I mean, okay, let me look at the list. One, he's like completely comfortable in his own skin, right? He's not afraid to like bawl his eyes out in front of his friends or scream like a total girl when he's like afraid, or I think a bear like scared him or something. He will soak in the bathtub listening to Enya. I mean, he's just hilarious. So it's really
Nice.
great sense of humor. We'll do a total gab fest with like his girlfriends and his boyfriends. He cooks. I mean, he's an incredible cook, which I think that probably got me first when I was reading this book. I was like, oh my gosh, I love you. Please come into my house and make your amazing tacos. Um, but and he's also this like amazing dirty talker. I mean, Megan Quinn can write like the dirty
Mhm.
talk, but then he'll like, cuddle up and snuggle with you after. So he's kind of this awesome blend of like alpha in the sheets, but yet total good guy and
Yeah.
all around just perfect package after. So he is a total favorite of mine.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, Megan Quinn writes some pretty good heroes too.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we gave people a lot of good ones.
There's a lot.
Bring home to mom, right? But okay, book boyfriends who we would not bring home. I'm super excited for this list. Any qualities? I mean, maybe we already mentioned them, but qualities that these guys like stood out to you?
I think the biggest thing with all of them is even if they were trying to present as a good guy, they couldn't do it. Like there's just something about their presence that would just make people in the room uncomfortable.
Yes. Don't even have to open their mouths. Good.
No, no, no. They could be, all dressed nice and all these things. No, no, just it
Yes,
wouldn't
yes.
work.
For me, it's kind of like the obviously the morally gray characters, someone who maybe likes to share, which I love reading in romance, but probably not in real life. Someone who's probably slightly unhinged, but unhinged for her in like in like the
Mhm.
best way. So those are things that kind of came to mind where I'm like, ooh, they're favorites of mine in fiction, but totally wouldn't bring home. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
launch
mean, a
us.
lot of the things we like in fiction would just not work in real life,
Yes,
for sure.
exactly. So who's first on your list?
Oh, okay. Well, this is one of my all-time favorite book boyfriends, and probably will be, I mean, I don't know. It's like 15 years at least since I've read about his character, not necessarily his books, but about his character, and it's still in my top three of all time. And that is Vlad from the Night Huntress series by Janine Frost. So we first meet Vlad in the Night Huntress, which is not books about Vlad. He's just a side character, and then he gets his whole series with his HEA, which is the Night Prince series, and he is Vlad as in Dracula. So
Mhm.
he is basically the vampire that inspired the legend of Dracula. And in his series, there's this human mortal woman that has some special powers. She gets kidnapped by immortals, and somehow he gets involved with that and he rescues her. But also, like, he's like, I can use that. And this, romance develops between the two of them. Now, she is also a little bit of a badass, but Vlad is just there's so much to say about him. He's bad. He's bad. He's intense. He burns people because he has flames. And so there's a lot of that happens, but also like there's a particular scene when something happens to the heroine and he of course is going for revenge and he burns everything down. And I'm like, this is what I want someone that will burn literally everything down for me, and it's so good.
Oh my gosh, he deserves that spot on that pedestal. I love
He
it.
can be a little scary, but when it comes about his heroine, he don't mess around
Oh,
at all. Or
yep.
his friends, he does really care about his friends as well.
Okay.
You
I
don't
love
mess
it.
with his people.
Gotcha. But
But
yeah, I can I
he
can
poses
imagine like
danger.
seeing him, you'd be like, yeah, not I
Yeah,
gotta
no.
be careful.
There's that aura about him that you're not gonna go near him.
Okay, the first guy that came to mind for me that I would not bring home to mom is Bridger from Wicked Bond by Sawyer Bennett. This is book 5 in her Wicked Horse series, which is about a sex club.
Mhm.
And so, it's going to be a bit kinky. Bridger is the owner, and he's sort of the guy that is everyone asks to like be a part of their scenes. Like he wants them involved in whatever they're doing in the club, and he's always a willing participant. And even when he's just like in his office, like if the waitress or bartender comes up to ask him about something, they're pretty much going to end up on their knees for him, and he's just going to be like, okay, cool, like it's just but he's also kind of this like enigma. Like people all know him at the club, but they don't really know him. And it's actually a really hard read in a way because his past is really kind of brutal. What happened to him and why he is sort of like this standoffish kind of guy. But he finds himself where he has to help this woman and her daughter escape this motorcycle club. So he Um, and she's the only one who can like open up his heart, and it's just fantastic. I love him. So he's a great book boyfriend because he will go to any lengths to help this woman in her, and he has really great friends too that he works looks out for at the club. Um, but he owns a sex club, so that would probably be a no-go. And
Yeah.
he has ties with some shady characters, and yet is always on the right side of the law himself.
Hmm.
So that was a great book. I loved him. So yeah, big
Yeah,
plus.
nice. Yeah, sex club owner would be kind of a difficult one to explain to mom.
I think so. There's no real way to get around it.
And you know that question is going to come up at the dinner table. What do you do?
Sure, yeah, I'm a business owner and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Last for a week or two, and then questions would be ensued from there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right, do you have a second one for us?
So my second one is Deverick from Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. This is a dark academia gothic romance, and he is a professor. It is set at like a haunted, little bit haunted. It's not necessarily haunted. There's no ghosts. It's not paranormal, but it has the vibe of a haunted university. It is set in an island, so it's very secluded. And the romance here is with his first year student, so it's a
Ah.
forbidden romance. So, I mean, immediately, if I am the heroine, you would not be bringing that to mom.
Yes.
But so he goes by Dr. Death at the college. And that is because, like, he does, dissect bodies and whatever. He is basically a researcher as well. So he's doing studies on this particular disease, which is why the heroine wanted to go there and wanted to study under him because her mom died from this disease that he's been studying. So she wants to figure out what happened to her mother. She gets there. Of course, he wants nothing to do with anybody touching his stuff. There's a reason for that, of course. Lots of like secret societies and like that kind of vibe in this book, but it's so hot. I mean, they are just so good. It is amazing. I couldn't put it down. It's a standalone too, so I wish there was more. I really do.
Fanning yourself just
if
for
you
mentioning
if you
it.
want
Oh my
something like
God.
forbidden romance, like this is up there with one of my favorites for sure.
Oh, that's incredible. I like the island aspect too.
Mhm.
And of course, the forbidden aspect is always
Yeah.
fun and raises
Yeah,
the
little
stakes.
bit of danger too. So, there's things she should not be looking into with him or with the college, her past, her history with her mother, and all these things. So, like, there's a lot going on in the story, which was fun, but the romance mixed in was great. The writing, I mean, I love Carrie Lake's writing too. So, I
Awesome.
was just highlighting everything.
Oh, perfect. Love
So
those
good.
books. Yay. All right, good recommendation. My next one, I mean, sounds on the surface like he would be someone I'd totally bring home to mom, but then the more you kind of understand him, you're like, yeah, probably not. And that is Doc from The Baumgartners Plus One by Selena Kitt. Now, Selena, she writes just total taboo romances, which when I'm in the mood for, like, I'll be like, oh, has she written anything new or whatever. So the Baumgartner series focuses on this couple that brings others into the bedroom. So in the Baumgartners Plus One, obviously,
Mhm.
they bring in their neighbor who I think she's married. I was trying to remember. I think she's married. They're going through their stuff. Um, and so it's wicked spicy, obviously. But it really also focuses on kind of a deep topic that people should look into before reading it. So he's a doctor, which great, and he's a great husband, so a great just, boyfriend in general. And because he's always about everyone's pleasure, so check mark in the good box.
Mhm.
But, he likes to share and give everybody pleasure. So
Yeah.
probably, I don't know how that would ever come up in the dinner conversation, but, probably not, the best. So yeah, I think he's just somebody I always think about that is just this like fun-loving guy, but he and his wife just have these like funky kinks, and it's a great read, but would not take him home to mom. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, book three from you.
Okay, so it's another vampire. This is Lothair by Cressley Cole. Lothair is the name of the character and the name of the book. It's part of the Immortals After Dark series. And now Lothair is kind of the villain of the series up to this point, when we get to hear his backstory and all of these things. So you see him as one of the bad vampires. Basically, there's the good ones, and then there's the ones that have had too much to drink, basically. Like they've had too much blood and they've gone to the dark side, and he's gone to the dark side. Um, what to say? He's basically like that guy that is out for revenge. He just wants chaos and destruction. He just wants that. We don't know his backstory at the beginning, so obviously we learn more when we get to his book. But in his book, he basically is, again, looking for revenge because that's what he does against everyone. And he's plotting this thing, and for that, he needs to kidnap this mortal woman. So he kidnaps this woman, but so vampires in this series, they can't have sex until they meet their fated mate,
Oh.
and their heart starts beating when they do. And so he kidnaps this woman, and his heart starts beating, and it's his fated mate. And he's like, oh shit. I was not planning for this. I don't want this. But obviously, you have to give him a heroine that is not a pushover and it's not a wilting flower, and she's not. And I really love that about their relationship. She's able to handle that because if there's something that bothers me is when you have these types of heroes and then like you try to redeem them in their book.
Yes.
There is no redeeming
Yeah.
him.
Right.
He's not, he doesn't like switch over to, oh, I'm gonna be one of the good guys now. So maybe there's some things he might compromise and not go as far, but he still is who he is, which is why you love him.
Right.
So yeah, so
Sure.
I really like that. I really like that aspect of his character and the relationship with the heroine. And he's another one of those where it's just like he's so intense. He has no problems killing people, doing what he needs to do. And up to that point where he met her, it was with everyone. Like he couldn't care for anybody. And then he meets her and things start to change. Of course he's fighting it because that is not his nature. So he tries to do bad things, but then he thinks about it and he's like, well, maybe not. He's also really funny. The series is really, really funny. So I mean, I do like some humor with my stories, and he can be an ass, but he can also be a little funny. He's hot too. So yeah,
Nice.
the determining factor here is the intensity. And all of these, like you just look at them and it just comes off of them.
Perfect. But it would be hard to bring a vampire home to mom. So,
Definitely.
yes.
Definitely. Especially one, because when they're like the bad ones, their eyes are red. Can't really hide that. Just wear sunglasses
Yes,
the whole
exactly.
time.
Let's not bring on those questions for sure. Oh, cool. All right, awesome. Love that recommendation. My next one, this was kind of a fun pick because it's sort of based on the author's real life. So she probably did bring this guy home to mom, or I can't remember if she did, but it is Night in the book Skin by B.B. Easton. So this B.B. Easton wrote 44 chapters about four men, and so she decided to write a book on about each of these four men. And so Knight is was her like boyfriend in high school, but he's like the guy that everyone is scared shitless of in school. And again, just like taking one look at like the shaved head, that just you look at him and you're like, this guy is gonna like rough me up, or he is bad news. And he kind of is because his home life sucked, and um, he just, I mean, he was sort of cruel, but he was misunderstood, but he wanted BB, and his story sort of broke my heart, but yet he had these moments that you're just like, oh my gosh, I want to like jump in the pages and just give you this big hug. But there is no way in hell I would bring you home, especially in high school when you're constantly getting in trouble. You're the complete opposite of the boy next door because you're unhinged. Like you are
Mm.
seriously unhinged. So Knight totally came to mind when I was like, this is not a guy I would bring home to mom. But I loved reading about him and his story.
For sure. I totally get that.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Do you have another one, or should we call it there for bad boys you'd bring home to mom?
So the last one that I have, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to mention this one because I feel like it's kind of like talked about a lot, but I think it still deserves a place here. So it's Lights Out by Josh from Lights Out by Navessa Allen. He's a stalker. He has a thirst trap, I guess like TikTok type of account. There's many things here where that would not work out to bring home to mom, but he's so sweet. Like I love seeing also besides the stalking part, but I love seeing like he would break into her house, but he was playing with her cat. It was so sweet. I'm like, ah, he's a good cat daddy.
Cat daddies are cool. I have
They
to
are.
like them. But
They
yeah, the
are.
stalker piece, a little shady. Yeah.
A little shady, definitely a little shady, but it wasn't that bad.
I get it. I get
Yeah,
it. I
yeah.
know. My next one, I wasn't sure if I should put him on the list because I'm like, maybe I would because he's a god. So I picked Hades from Neon Gods by
Mhm.
Katie Robert. I love that series. I'm kind of sad it's going to be coming to an end. But he's a favorite of mine for sure. And her book is sort of this modern retelling of the Hades and Persephone story,
Yeah.
where Persephone ends up fleeing the city of Olympus when her mom, unbeknownst to her, announces her engagement to Zeus. And she's like, heck no. So she flees across the river to Hades, and strikes a deal with him. It's a great kickoff to this story that has an underlying, I guess, storyline to all of the books in the series. But I would probably wouldn't bring him home to mom because he is the god of the underworld. So, I mean, he's a god, but of the underworld, everyone's a little scared of him. He's probably one of those you take one look at him and be like, no, I don't want you at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
He too owns an adult club, but he doesn't really have any problems with exhibition. So, who knows when that might rear its head. And he really doesn't have any loyalty to his family, but for good reason. And he's sort of a bottled up kind of guy, obviously, except
Mhm.
for his woman. And so, because of those qualities, I'd say, probably wouldn't bring him home, but I love him all the same. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, we have given people some incredible book boyfriends to
That's a good
consider.
recommendations.
I love every single one you did. I'm going to be making sure I write them down because I don't read, I do read paranormal. I haven't read a ton of vampires, so now you've given me a lot of good
Okay.
ones.
There's a lot of good vampires also that came out this year. I think they're making a comeback, which is exciting.
It is exciting, maybe because of Twilight's 20th anniversary or something. Is
Maybe.
like, who knows? But I'm all for it. I mean,
Yeah.
I even jumped on the monster bandwagon when it became big. So I'm like, I really won't discriminate when it comes to book
Yeah.
boyfriends. So,
It's good to
yay.
try everything at least once.
Exactly. Yes. Well, I really appreciate you sharing all of these. If people want even more recommendations from you and follow your book list and stuff, where can they find you online on social?
Yeah. So at underthecoversbookblog.com and on socials at UTC Bookblog. That's pretty much everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook,
Yay.
etc.
And follow her because she is always giving great recommendations that you'll never be short of a great TBR list with Francesca's recommendations. So
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yay.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, I hope we can do it again soon. This was
Yes.
a blast. Next time you find one that you're like, oh, I would bring this one home to mom or not, make sure you let me know. I want
Yes, absolutely.